And John Rosmundo, how is the US likely to view India, China, Russia, and even Pakistan voting along with the Taliban against Donald Trump wanting to take back the Bagram air base? And how is the US likely to view the Taliban foreign minister's visit to India?
Well, I think the United States has kind of a mixed, approach with the Taliban. I mean, we've been giving the Taliban at least $15 billion since the end of the war in September of 21. I mean, the CIA has worked closely with the Taliban, allegedly against ISIS. But the thing that we have to look at is the fact that more people are being trained in terrorist camps sponsored by the Taliban than ever before, tens of thousands. That could potentially be a threat to India. I mean, India's worked to develop close relations with the Taliban since 21. But I think at least openly, the United States government probably will not be too thrilled with the Taliban foreign minister going to New Delhi. But the United States is all over the map when it comes to the Taliban.
Yep. Jalsani, Pakistan always dreamt of that strategic depth in Afghanistan. In fact, I want to play out that image of General Faiz Hamid, then DG ISI, when Taliban was taking over Kabul. Faiz Hamid was at the Serena Hotel sipping tea or coffee, claiming Pakistan was in control. I hope you're able to play out that image of General Faiz Hamid, DG ISI. That's the image that I'm talking about. And now the Taliban foreign minister is in India, and there are reports that year on year, Pakistan is losing about 600 plus soldiers along the AfPak border in KPK, Baluchistan. Your view, why is Pakistan fretting over Taliban's foreign minister in India, and does it have wider ramifications for Pakistan?
You see, the point is that Pakistan has always used Afghanistan for their own purposes. And that is something, and they always have underestimated the quest for freedom as far as Afghanistan is concerned. The Durand line itself is a permanent sort of a fissure between the two countries. And somehow or the other, the independent nature of Afghanistan has not been understood by the Pakistanis. They thought that they'll continue to bribe them. And once they got into Kabul in 2021, you see the images of the DG ISI, there were celebrations. It almost appeared that he was trying to convey that their writ is going to run in Kabul, and they would be running their foreign policy, they'll be running their defense policy. So that is where I think they went spectacularly wrong, because Afghans have got their own mind, and whatever you might say, they have got their own reasons to have relationship with the different countries, and I think they're very fiercely independent. So to Pakistan's calculations that they will be able to undermine that and to be able to use them as a tool, as I think failed miserably. And now the way their defense minister is speaking, it's very difficult to take that defense minister seriously, because he comes out with such weird thinking. Yes. I mean, they are the same people who always thought that once the Taliban return to Kabul, then their writ will run and they'll twist them in whatever direction they want to. So I think, in a way, it has come out very vividly that the Taliban who have come to power in this country have their own views. Actually, their views are exactly like views of any other dispensation which has ruled Kabul.
Okay. And they don't accept the Durand line at all, which is Pakistan's worst nightmare.
They don't accept the Durand line at all. And the Pakistanis would like to make that into a permanent border, which I think is a wish which will never get fulfilled.
Okay. Ambassador Sood, but India-Afghanistan relationship, what is it that Afghanistan wants from India, would be seeking from India, and what are we in a position to give them?
I think that in terms of Foreign Minister Muttaqi's wish list, it would consist of, first and foremost, visas. Second, beginning of the development assistance, which got stopped in 2021. Third, exchange of ambassadors. Fourth, diplomatic recognition. And fifth, perhaps a closer high-level political engagement. Now, how much of this is going to emerge at the end of this particular visit? I would be hesitant to predict, but my guess is that out of all these things, it's going to be pretty limited. I don't see the exchanges moving to a high-level political exchanges. I don't see, frankly, diplomatic recognition. I don't see even an exchange of ambassadors.
Okay.
Because right now we don't really have an idea of the security environment. I mean, how do we undertake assistance projects? We had 4 consulates in Afghanistan.
Yes.
When we were engaging in an extensive economic assistance program with hundreds of assistance projects all over the country. We also had a lot of, we used to give visas in large numbers for Afghan patients who used to come for treatment to India. We canceled all those visas. You see, first thing is that we reacted in a very knee-jerk fashion in 2021 because we had not engaged with the Taliban. So now this is a beginning of a turn back. Now, whether this is going to be a 180-degree turn,
Okay.
I don't think so. I think foreign policy moves gradually. And my guess is that this will be the beginning of a process of where we start re-engaging with Afghanistan, with the new regime in Afghanistan, and then see how it goes forward.
The security is one very important aspect that you raise. Michael Kugelman, the Chabahar port sanctions by the US, if they're intended to impact Iran, they adversely impact India and Afghanistan. So what key outcomes do you expect from the visit of the Afghan foreign minister to India?
Yeah, I mean, like Ambassador Sood, I wouldn't overstate the deliverables that we can expect. I think this is really an engagement that's grounded in very pragmatic considerations, and that entails India wanting to convey to the Taliban foreign minister that there is an interest in engagement in perhaps exploring some level of economic cooperation. But I think that there'll be some asks that probably will not be answered, so to speak, in the sense that you asked before what the Taliban's looking to get out of this. And I suspect that one thing the Taliban wants is to be able to eventually staff the Afghan embassy in New Delhi, which is obviously a very difficult choice for New Delhi to make. That's not the type of thing. There's not going to be a decision made on that in this case. But I suspect that they'll commit to keep talking, to keep engaging, and to discuss issues like visas and things like that. This is going to continue to keep up. And I suspect that the Indian side would want to convey to the Taliban foreign minister that it is concerned about certain security, terrorism related issues in Afghanistan, and it hopes that the Taliban will be receptive to those concerns. But yeah, still a lot of uncertainty about where things are going to go. I agree. I do not think that India is going to extend diplomatic recognition to the Taliban. I simply don't see that happening. But it is
Okay.
notable that we've seen over the last few months an escalation in engagement, more high level. This is pretty high level for the foreign minister to come to New Delhi. What comes after that? Does the prime minister get involved in any type of engagement? I don't know. Something to watch, though.